What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're working on my wife's GL450 again. We are going to be putting a battery in this car. Now, for some reason, in Mercedes wisdom, in this entire giant SUV, the only place that they could determine was a good place to put the battery was under the passenger seat. Why it's there, I don't know. I guess it's the only place that they had enough negative space and it fit in. It might have been an afterthought, who knows. Anyways, to start off, to get this battery out, you're going to need to take your passenger seat and you're going to need to put it up all the way up in the air and then all the way forward towards the front of the car. Now, if you have a completely dead battery, you're going to have to hook something up in the jump points in order to do that up front, but we've got our seat all the way forward in our instance. So once you get the seat up and all the way forward, we're going to come underneath this back seat, and this trim piece right here that's around these air ducts for the floor heat is going to be the first thing we've got to take off. So this thing has some locking tabs underneath on the edges of it that lock it like underneath the carpet itself. This one's been out a couple times, so it's rather easy to get out, but I don't believe originally they're hard to get out either. You're just going to pop it up out of there. And then once we get that trim piece up and out of the way, you can start to see our battery itself. That's actually our negative battery terminal right there. So the next thing we're gonna have to take off in order to get this battery out of there is this air duct here for the floor heat. Now, normally this carpet here will not be cut like this carpet is, so you're most likely going to have to cut this carpet yourself. I believe the actual repair instructions want you to remove the seat from the car completely. It's not necessary. If you're willing to cut your carpet underneath here where you're never going to see it, then you can get the battery out without taking the seat out. So you're going to have to cut this carpet back like this carpet here is cut back. The reason being is because in this back corner, this air duct is normally held down by a screw back here in this back corner. I don't know what size that screw is off the top of my head because this car has never had that screw, so I can't give you that information, but I can tell you that it normally has a screw back here in this corner that holds it down. Once you get that screw out, you're going to grab this duct and you're going to pull it towards you and pull it out from inside of there. So pull the duct out, set it off to the side. The next thing that we're going to get out is this cover. This cover actually is like a cover to protect the well down here that this battery sits in from stuff getting splashed in there from the carpet or any spills or anything like that. It normally has two locking tabs here along the front. One of them's broken and the other one, I believe, just because it's so worn out from being out of there so many times, doesn't really catch on anything, so you can see that it's kind of loose. But you're just gonna pry these little tabs, locking tabs here in the front up. Once you get those tabs up, you're going to want to pull this thing towards you. Now, it is going to get a little stuck coming out of there because it's much larger than the opening in the carpet, but you'll be able to work it up out of there. We're going to get that up and get it set out of the way, and then we can kind of see at this point our entire battery down in here. Now, if you look, there's a lot of power stuff in here as well. This is actually kind of like a power distribution point. There are some fuses here. There's also some fuses up there on the other side in the front. The other thing that is in the front of this battery is the auxiliary battery. The auxiliary battery for these cars can cause some random issues with like locking and unlocking and things like that. So if you were curious as to where an auxiliary battery is on this car, it's actually in front of this battery. You have to take this battery in order to get to it. Now, I'm going to take this battery out. In order to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this 10mm nut loose here in order to get our negative cable off. Once we take our 10mm off and get this negative cable off, we're going to push it off to the side and tuck it over in here. And then up there in front, up here, it's rather hard to see in here. Up here in front is our 10mm for our positive. So you're going to loosen that 10mm for that positive up there, this 10mm for this negative. We're going to take them both off and tuck them off to the side, and then we'll be able to lift this battery up and out of the car once we get those cables off. So I'm going to get those off and I'm going to show you guys me pulling it out of there. All right, so we got both our positive and our positive back there and our negative off. And I almost forgot to tell you guys, the other thing that's got to come out of here is there's two 13mm nuts down here in the bottom that are holding a bracket down that holds the battery down inside the car. Now, I want you to ignore all of my nasty, like acidic looking stuff down there. We actually had a battery in the past. Previous owner of this vehicle actually had a battery that started leaking in here. It hasn't caused an issue. There's no corrosion on any of the cabling or anything like that. It's just in the bottom of this well, so it's not really a big deal. So I'm gonna get those 213s off down here at the bottom. One right here and one right there. They're 13mm nuts, and then we'll be able to get the bracket that's across here out of the way, and then once we get that bracket out, we'll be able to pull the battery out. All right, as you can see, we got our battery out of there. So like I said, it's possible. It is difficult, but it's possible. You can see our auxiliary battery up there in the corner. If you needed to get in there and replace that, obviously you'd have to take the larger battery out, but we got this battery out of there. We're gonna put our new one in there and get everything hooked up, but as you can see, we got it out. It's not too difficult. The process of putting it back in is the exact opposite of remove, obviously. You're gonna wanna make sure that you get this cable tucked over here out of the way so you don't catch it when you're going in. Just kinda tuck it up underneath the edge over there. Slide your battery back in. You're just gonna also make sure that your little vent hose here is tucked out of the way so it doesn't get caught either when you're going back in. And then once you get it back in there, you're gonna hook everything back up in the reverse order, put your brace back in, put all your trim pieces back in place in there, and be done with this job. So I'm gonna get everything put back together and we're gonna be done. All right, so we got our trim pieces all put back together, batteries all tightened down, truck starts good now. As you can see, it's not crazy difficult. It is possible to do it without taking the seat out. Mind you, they want you to take the seat out. So if that makes your life easier, feel free to do it. I'm not going to go over that because it's not necessary. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. Be sure to answer any questions you guys have. I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.